Hi, I'm Amina Wasuma, and I'm here to talk about my novella For the Love of Blood, Episode 8, Gunsmoke. Now, the last time we talked, we left off with Amber going to Colombia, hot on the trail of blood. Now, she doesn't know what lies ahead. She's never been to this country. She doesn't speak the language, and she's just doing as she's told. She doesn't know what is going to happen to her, or if she even is going to come back alive. As his blood finds out that she's an undercover agent, he may kill her on the spot without a problem. Now, I think Blood got a raw deal, but so many other African American men had a raw deal, even probably worse than Blood, and they didn't react in the way he did. He decided a long time ago that he was not going to reform. There was no hope for him. And after his mother was killed, he really turned stone cold. And he doesn't want sympathy. You know, to reform, you want sympathy, for yourself. You want other people to feel sympathy for you because, all the things that you did and the sins that you committed and the crimes that you participated in, you want to be forgiven. He doesn't want to be forgiven. He did what he felt he had to do or what he wanted to do because it was done to him. And as they say, do unto others as you want them to do to you. And so he just took it as a game. And now he's going to a new life in Colombia. Meanwhile, in New York, Harlem, the FBI is searching his stash. All the clothes and everything are left there. They didn't have time to take anything, and they're dusting for fingerprints. I'm pretty sure Soupy, Jonesy, and Cisco wiped the place down because the FBI is not on to them. They managed to keep their identity secret, but Blood somehow, full of bravado, he's got to let everybody know, I'm Blood, I'm the man. Yeah, I'm doing this. So what? Just like the Klan is doing, I'm doing. You don't say anything to them. Why should you say anything to me? Oh, that's right. I'm African American, right? I'm a descendant of slaves. So I deserve to be treated in this way with impunity and not strike back like so many other of my African American brothers and sisters. That's the excuse society is going to make. Why are you doing this? You're just using that as an excuse. And he has an education. He got his education in the pen. He graduated from high school. He had a year of college. So what's the point? Why couldn't he reform? Why didn't he use his education to change his life? Only he knows that. And maybe we'll find out that in future episodes. But at this time, uh, he's just done. You know, like, I don't care. I'm going to have freedom. I'm going to have uh, the well-to-do life that I want. And if they stop me, they stop me. But until then, I'm going to continue. And that's what he is going to Colombia, South America to do, to continue his life in crime. Now, Amber has lost a lot. You know, she's lost her life as a model. She's lost her career. She's lost her freedom. She's lost a lot. Or it's a trade-off that she doesn't want to make. And she may be killed, you know, once she meets up with blood. She doesn't, you know, she's in a situation she can't turn back. She has to go forward. And there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Now in New York, there's a war going on. And you have all these drug dealers shooting and killing one another. And it's just like Dodge City. You know, where are they getting these guns from? I don't know. But they're getting them. And the police is not doing, you know, they're not doing anything. Or they're not doing enough to stop the killing. You know, one less African American alive. You know, that's the way they look at it. Let them kill each other. And so now Louie pays a visit to Chang. Well, his hitman does. And Chang and Baby James and EJ and Fat Bob are inside the Penny Arcade. And, you know, they're shooting pool and playing with the pinball machines when this tall guy dressed in black leather comes in. I say, here's a gift from Louie. Pretty Louie. And he just shoots up the place. And all you see is gun smoke. He leaves. The next day, the police are taking the bodies out, putting them in the coroner's wagon, cleaning up the mess. Nothing is done about it. You know, it's on the news, but nothing is done about it. There's no follow-up. Who did it? Or, you know, they're not investigating. Just, let these gangsters do our job. That's what the police are saying. You know, long as it stays contained in the ghetto, it's okay. But let it start going downtown. Let it start going in the Caucasian neighborhoods. Now we have a problem. And you see with Banderos, his cocaine is coming into America, and it's affecting the Caucasians and the college students. You know, everybody's buying it. So he is a problem, and he's a big problem. And as we get along in the story, you'll see he's even a bigger problem for the United States. And it's not going to be easy to just snuff his legacy out. Very interesting. So now Amber lands in Colombia. Miguel is there waiting for her. And he approaches her and says, "Oh, are you Amber Stone?" And she says, "Yes." And she gives him a code, 63. And that's how he knows, it's her, and she knows it's him, that he's the right contact. And he takes her out of the airport. He escorts her out of the airport. And then he has this beautiful Corvette. And he says, "You drive." She says, "Oh, it's beautiful." He says, "It's yours." She says, "Mine." He says, "Yeah, you drive. I'll tell you where we going." And to get to the secret's headquarters in Colombia, it's about an hour from the airport. So Amber and Miguel get in the Stingray, and she drives. She hasn't driven in so long because being in New York, she's she's always taken the cab, and so this is like, wow, I haven't been behind the wheel in ages. But driving is something like riding a bike. Once you learn it, you never forget it. So she drives really, really fast. And Miguel doesn't say anything. He's real cool. He's very good looking, handsome. And so she's thinking to herself, "Oh my God, the guy looks like a playboy." And so he tells her where to go, and they go through the roads in the jungle, and they get to this beautiful big mansion. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. And Miguel escorts her to the door, and then he leaves, and she rings the doorbell, and Maria, a maid, who's like in her 50s, 40s, like 40, 50. It's hard to tell, But she lets her in, and she tells her, "Well, let me show you to your room, Senorita, and Cortez will meet you for dinner." So Amber goes, and she looks around the house. It's even though it's a spring-like weather all year round in Colombia, the house it looks like autumn. It's pumpkin colored, it's brown, it's autumn like furniture. And so she goes upstairs, and there are cameras everywhere. Like there's a camera in the statue. There are cameras in the paintings on the walls. She surmises that. It's like every move that she's making, she's being watched. And so when they go upstairs, it's like a long hall, and there are paintings along the wall, and there are cameras inside the paintings. So when she goes into her room, Maria shows her into the room, and she puts her stuff down, and there are cameras in the room. The only place that there's no camera is in the bathroom. So she, Maria says, beats dinner. Dinner is at 6:00, and we'll expect you. And Amber says, "Okay." So Maria leaves the room, and Amber goes to unpack her things, and she goes to put them in the closet, and the closet is filled with clothes in her size. Shoes, dresses, suits. Okay. So she says to herself, "Okay, I can't wear my own clothes." So then she takes her toiletries out of her suitcase, and she goes into the bathroom, and she says, "Well, at least I have this." And she puts her toiletries down, on the counter, her makeup and stuff like that. But it seems like everything is done for her. The clothes are there. So she wants to have control over something. And so she knows instinctively that she's being watched. And so she unpacks, she has nowhere to put her clothes. So she just, tries to stuff some of them in the closet, but the closet is so full she can't. So she puts them back in the suitcase, puts the suitcase, under the bed. And so dinner, like a couple of hours, she lays down on the bed, a couple of hours go by at 6 o'clock. And she gets dressed in a beautiful white gown that's already in the closet with the shoes and everything, because she's going to meet Cortez. Now, Cortez is the head of the Agent Zero program in Colombia. And so she goes downstairs, and he's not there. And the table is full of food. Everything except meat and alcohol. And she's like wondering, well, where's the meat? I gotta have some fried chicken. I gotta have some, collard greens and some bacon or whatever. I gotta have some meat here, some beef, and I gotta have a drink. And so Cortez comes in, tall, handsome, looks like Clark Gable, introduces himself to her. He's watching her like a hawk. And she's like, where's the alcohol? He said, you can't drink. We know about your drugs. There's no alcohol. There's no drugs. And also, we're putting you on a vegan diet. You're going to have to forget everything from your past and start anew. And she says, well, when am I going to go after blood? He said, well, I have to train you. And that's going to be, it depends on how fast you learn. If you learn fast, you can go after him, right away. But that depends on you. But you have to be trained before we send you to meet blood. And we have an agent that we sent before you who never returned. And I was like, well, that's reassuring. He said, well, I didn't train him. He was trained by someone else, my predecessor. He said, but I'm going to train you. And you have to be on a special diet. And, I have a regimen for you. So Amber is like, well, I see you got all my clothes. You got everything laid out for me. And he says, yeah, we will decide what you wear and where you go and who you speak to. We control that. And she says, well, what about my name? Can I keep my name? He says, yeah, you can keep Amber Stone. But if something happens to you, we're just going to get another girl and name her Amber Stone. So your name belongs to us. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I can deal with this. I'm used to having control and having things my way. He says, well, get used to it. It's either deal with this or go to jail. It's your choice. He says, and I want you to meet me at 5 a.m. for training. So Amber eats her food, her vegan food, which she has to acquire a taste for, And he sits and watches her. And when she finishes eating, she says, well, I'm going to excuse myself. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. And he says, you're excused. And she gets up and she switches out. And he's watching, her silhouette. He's watching her. And she's like, wow, She could feel his eyes, And she goes up to her room. So, what do you think she's thinking? To me, from what I'm picking up, she's terrified, but she's trying to keep up the front. It's like she's in prison. She's not free. It's just a luxurious prison. So tune in for the next episode, episode 9, I'm Just the Girl to Party With.